Diet Coke for courage. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Haley, if you didn't already know that. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. We are going to be talking about some fun, cozy hobbies that you can do this summer. So, number one is you could start a vegetable or an herb garden. That is kind of my big project for the summer. I currently have some potatoes that are going crazy, and I will have tomatoes. I have some like teeny tiny seedlings that are doing okay. And then I have a bigger plant that I bought from Costco as like a medium sized plant. So I hope I can get it to fruit. I have some peppers that actually just recently started turning red. So I think they're going to be ready to harvest soon. So I'm really, really excited for those. And then I've got basil, thyme, and rosemary and some green onions, all of which are doing very, very well. So yeah, that one has been quite a time-consuming hobby. My goal is to be able to, did I say lettuce? I've got lots of lettuce. My goal is to be able to just like collect ingredients from my garden to cook with. I'm really bad with produce. It usually just goes to die in my fridge. So having fresh produce that's just like living outside that you can just go and grab what you need and not have to worry about it dying on you, I think that is very, very cool. And I want to be able to do that. I notoriously have, like, I always say I have a black thumb because I kill all my plants, but I'm really, really proud because everything is doing super, super well so far. So this has been a fun little project for me. That is a pretty, I don't want to say an easy or cheap one. I mean, like, seeds are pretty affordable, but I will say growing stuff from seed has not been going super well for me. So I've been just getting like plants that are already partially fully grown or fully grown and just repotting them and taking care of them and letting them like continue to grow, which beginner gardener, it's going pretty good. Kind of adjacent to that in a way, another thing that I have been enjoying doing is painting. I've started painting. I have a bunch of old like terracotta pots, so I'm trying to upcycle them into something a little bit cuter, something that I will actually enjoy using. So I've got one that I am painting little tomatoes on. I'm really proud of the tomatoes. I am not artistic in any way, shape, or form. I'm really terrible at drawing all of that, but my tomatoes are looking pretty cute on it, so pretty proud of that. Another thing that I want to try painting, I have some old wine glasses that are literally just sitting in a box doing nothing, and I always want nice cups to drink my numerous beverages out of. So I'm going to try painting some wine glasses. I got to figure out what kind of paint I'm going to need for that. I don't know if acrylic paint is going to work. Obviously, they'll be hand wash only, but we'll see. I got to look into that. But that's another thing that I want to try. I also have an ancient paint by numbers that I would love to finish. I got it, I think, I want to say like third or fourth year of university, which was like 6, maybe 7 years ago now. And I got to the point of painting it where it required me to mix the paint colors together, and that was about where I called it quits. So I would love to finish that because I want to be able to frame it and put it on my wall. So if anybody has any tips on how to like revive old paint, because they're like bricks now and not liquid at all, please tell me, because I would like to be able to finish that and have a piece of art that I painted. Even though it's paint by numbers, I still painted it. I want that on my wall. So painting, great summer hobby. You can even do like watercolors outside or whatever. It doesn't have to be any of those ones, but painting is super fun to do in the summer. Another one is fitness. If you don't know me, I am a personal trainer. I've been a huge, like, I want to say like gym bro, but I've been very, very, very into health, fitness, nutrition, all of that. And recently I have gotten diagnosed with POTS, so fitness has taken quite a turn for me. So one of the things that I really want to work on this summer is getting back into a fun, sustainable, enjoyable fitness routine. There's lots of awesome stuff you can do in the summer. It doesn't, like, you don't even have to go to the gym. Going for so many walks. I've been loving going for longer walks now that it's warm. If you get up really early and go in the morning, it's like such a nice peaceful, like crisp temperature, or going after dinner is really great too once it cools off. You can always do like tennis is a really great outdoor activity to do in the summer. Pickleball is super popular. I've never played before, but I was at Indigo a couple weeks ago and they had really cute pickleball sets in there, so that could be a fun new thing to try. It seems like it's basically just really large ping pong, but I guess tennis kind of is that too. Doing yoga or Pilates outside or inside, doesn't have to be outside, but that's like a nice gentle form of movement. And then of course like going swimming is really great exercise, and you can only really do that outside in the summer, so that is a really great activity that you can incorporate in the summer just to get you outside, fill the days a little bit. Next up is my personal favorite and is becoming a very large portion of my personality and my life, and that is gaming. So that could be replaying old games. I don't know what it is about summertime, but I always find it like a very nostalgic time of year, probably just from like having summers off as a child from school. That was always when you had so much free time to do whatever you liked. And when you were really little, I don't know about you, but I didn't leave my house very much because I wasn't allowed to, because my older brother was watching me and we just like hung out at home all day. So we would play video games a lot. So I've been really enjoying playing some of my old video games. I've been replaying a lot of my old Harvest Moon games. I've been playing my Switch, which I just got for Christmas last year. So that's been really fun. I do that all year. I don't just do that in the summer, but in the summer when I'm not in school, I have a lot more time to do it. So that's great. So that can kind of be, if you used to play video games and you kind of stopped now that you're a grown up, you should start playing again because it's even more fun as an adult than it was when you were a kid, because it's just that nice nostalgic fun. And like if you have any handheld, you can bring it outside. I've been playing like my Game Boy Advance or my DS outside, bring my Switch outside, which I'm a little bit scared to do because I don't have a case on it. But if you do, bring your Switch outside. Then you can get some sunshine and be outdoors while still playing your games. Because I sometimes feel guilty if I stay inside all summer because it's so nice. I should be outside. I want to be outside in the summer. So it's nice to be able to bring things that you like doing inside. You can bring them outside. Another one that I actually did for a little while yesterday was coloring. I brought my coloring book and markers outside, sat at a little table outside, and just colored for a couple hours. It was delightful. It was really nice. Coloring books are super cheap. You don't even have to buy them. You can just print off coloring pages, get some markers from the dollar store. Those, honestly, the dollar store markers have been some of my favorites. The next one is more of an inside activity, but any like sewing or textile crafts. My mother-in-law recently bought me a sewing machine, and so I can sew now. I need to figure out, sewing scares me, but I have a couple of like dresses that are basically you just put a seam down the side and there's a dress, which I guess is kind of all dresses. But so I'm going to make a couple dresses. I want to try and like get a little more creative with it and make like outfits, but that could be a fun thing. You can make yourself some summer clothing. I've been really into punch needling. I'm not great at textile crafts. I've tried cross stitching. I've tried crocheting. Tried crocheting. I almost cried crocheting. Those, my brain couldn't. The little like fine detail things like threading a needle alone, hate it. But like cross stitching, I could get the, not cross stitching, crocheting, I could get the like first chain, but then I tried to turn. I lost it. I tried so many times and then I just lost my patience and gave up on it. But if you have more patience than me, you could try some crocheting. I would love to learn how to do embroidering as well, because I keep seeing these cute pictures on Pinterest of like jeans with flowers coming out of their back pocket, and I think it's so cute, and I would love to learn how to do that. So, I mean, you could bring some of those outside. It might be a little cumbersome to bring all the equipment. Don't bring a sewing machine outside. But everything else you could probably bring outside if you have a little bag, a little craft bag or something. Perler beads. I love perler beads. I never used them as a child, ever. I only really started like seeing them when I started watching like cozy hobby creators on YouTube and seeing stuff on Pinterest. And I think they're so fun. I love making the little like pixelated art, like my coaster that I have on my desk, which honestly, it kind of slaps as a coaster in the summer. It's a little cinnamon bun, and I didn't fully melt the beads through, so you can still see there's some room, and then this side looks nice like that. It's really nice with cold drinks in the summer because all the condensation always comes down and drives me crazy when I pick up my drink and it drips water on me. But with the Perler bead coaster, the water kind of sits in the holes. So your cup's not actually sitting in like the pool, but then since it's not closed at the bottom, there's enough like airflow through it so that the water doesn't just sit in there. It dries up really quick. I didn't actually like plan that deep into it, but it worked out really well, and that's the only kind of coaster I want now. But yeah, so making like cute little, I like making little fruits. I've got some cherries. I really want to make a lemon for a coaster for on my couch. It's just like a really quick, easy, satisfying craft because you can like make a full project start to finish in like half an hour. So it's like a nice if you don't want to dedicate a whole bunch of time to crafting. It's really quick and easy, and there's a billion ideas on Pinterest. Yeah, they can be really cute. Next up, I have built a collection. I am a big collector. I love me a trinket. Oh my god. A recent collection that I've started is the little mini-verse things. I'm obsessed. They're so cute. Like, I have so many on my little desk here. Here's little baby carrots. And then I've got wait, hold on. The baby lettuces. I can't. And then the little strawberries. Hang on. Like, I don't know. They're just adorable. And they're like, who doesn't love a blind box? But they're really fun. You get to like do a little short build. They're really easy to put together, and they're adorable, if I didn't already say that. And they're not expensive, which is really, really nice because like collecting things can get really expensive. But these are like $7 to $10 each. So it's like nice to just grab one when you go to Walmart, one or two, and then you have like a cute little build to make. I also collect mugs, but that's kind of like a lifelong collection. Everywhere I travel to, I get a mug as my souvenir. So I got a lot of mugs. I'm working on putting some like hooks in my ceiling and hanging them. I've only got a few up right now. I just wanted to test a few before I committed to putting them all up there to see if I liked it and make sure they didn't fall out of the ceiling. There's lots of things that you can collect. I also am in the process of collecting all of the Harvest Moon games and Story of Season games that are out there. So that's kind of a fun collection. It's just fun to go like hunting for things and searching. Another very, very easy one that I'm sure a lot of people already do is reading. I have been in school forever. Basically, my entire adult life, I've been in school. So, reading has kind of, I used to love reading so much. I was obsessed with reading as a kid. Like, I would put back books like nobody's business. That was all I did was read. And so now I'm like, I miss it. I miss reading because it used to be such a big piece of my life. But I read so much for school that it's just hard in my free time to bring myself to read more. So that is something that I want to work on this summer. And like, it's a great summer hobby. You can just bring your book outside and hang out in the sunshine and read a book. So I'm trying to get back into that. So far, I have read 2 books this summer. So I have yet to pick up another one since I finished my last book. But I've got a gigantic amount of books that I have not read. So I need to get into that again. But again, easy one. There's like, you don't have to go buy books. You can just go to the library. I love the library. It's a good place. Last one is cooking and baking. I love cooking. I always have. Well, as an adult, I've liked cooking a lot. It's fun because you can just kind of like throw stuff together. It's not super specific and it usually turns out fine. But I've been kind of off of cooking and stuff for a little while, just energy wise, standing in front of a hot stove. It doesn't feel great. I usually don't have energy for that. But I am starting to adjust a little bit to my pot symptoms, getting to manage them a little bit better. So I have been cooking a little bit more and I missed it. I really like having just like nice, fresh, home cooked meals for dinner, and meal prepping lunches and stuff is just so much easier. So that is one thing, especially with all of the like great produce that you can get in the summer, like the tomatoes and basil and all of that stuff makes really good, delicious meals. So I want to get to a point where I am growing my food and cooking it into delicious fresh meals because that sounds awesome. And then baking, my TikTok feed is just covered in like the from scratch baking people who don't buy anything, they just make it all from scratch, which I love the idea of just being able to like never have to go to the grocery store except for like ingredients. Obviously, that's a lot of work. I'm not trying to say start cooking everything from scratch, but I have been baking bread, and it's really tasty because you can add whatever you want to it. I have not gotten to attempting sourdough yet, though. I have tried to get a starter going so many times, and it keeps dying. So that's on my list, on my goals. I would love sourdough is so good. But aside from that, I want to get into making like my own tortillas and my own like English muffins and bagels and breads and all of that, and just like making more food at home rather than buying processed food from the grocery store in an attempt to be a little bit healthier. And it's just nice to be able to consume stuff that you make rather than stuff that you buy. But baby steps. But that is one goal for the summer. Okay, those are 10 hobbies that you can try to do this summer. Those are the things that I'm going to be trying out for the most part this summer. Just trying to fill the extra time with productive and enjoyable things, especially with the weather being so nice. It's good to have options that you can do outside, but it's also good to have options you can do inside if it is too hot to go out there. And it's nice just to have little projects to work on. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in my next one very soon. Bye.